أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم بسلم الدين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا واجتنابه اللهم إنا نسألك خير ما سألك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ بك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with another Saturday to be in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And last Saturday we were talking about the topic of blessings of being a Muslim. Today our topic is about the worldly trials and tribulations, how to cope with them in light of Quran and Sunnah. If you remember last Saturday, we mentioned certain aspects of the believer's qualities and features in various aspects from the different ayats in the Quran. And one of that aspect we said is the positivity. If you understood last Saturday's whole theme and topic was to be positive, to be optimistic, not become pessimistic or driven away by the negativity that may come. So one of the other things we said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us as a believer continuously in the Quran. He mentions us that why Allah tests us to strengthen our iman. See, if there were no trials and tribulations, if there were no imtihan and fitan and fitna in society, then our iman will never get tested. When you test something, you then prepare for that. For example, if there were no tests in schools and colleges, imagine all the teachers, universities, schools said, just come and study and there's no test. And you will get the degree, you'll get the diploma at the end of the year when you complete your academic year. How would life be? Huh? Easy, yeah? How would life be if the whole academic institution, the whole education system said there is no test? Just come and study. How will life be for the parents? Beautiful. Beautiful. No headache, no tension. Are you studying? You have a test, so parents are free, tension free. How's life for the students? Carefree. Did you do your homework? I don't need to do homework. They told us we're going to get. Third, how would the teacher know what they are instructing is being digested if there's no test? You see what I mean? How will the teacher know this is a good student, this is A student, this is B, this is C? Everybody's studying. How would the teacher know? Because the reason I'm putting this example, today many Muslims say, why are there tests in life? Why Allah put us through so many tests and trials and tribulations and fitna and problems and issues? There's a very beautiful duet, I believe it's Allama Iqbal, or I may be mistaken, where he said in Urdu language that which means translation that, "O eagle, these opposite winds, they are blowing to uplift you higher. If there were no opposing winds, we would not go up higher, right? Above. And that is why we go up higher because of the opposing winds that elevates us. So these trials and tribulations in the dunya that we face from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala coming towards our way are a way to strengthen our iman, our commitment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our resolve, and also to strengthen our stamina and our what you call wit. You have to have a strong wit power. The willpower comes only when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that, look, you will go through many tests and trial and tribulation. In Surah Ankabut, Surah 29, verse numbers 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. What? People think that they will be left to say we believe and they will not be tried. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. But we have certainly tried those before them, and Allah will surely make evident those who are truthful, and He will surely make evident the liars. أَمْ حَسَبَ الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ السَّيِّئَاتِ أَن يَسْبِقُونَ سَاءَ مَا يَحْكُمُونَ. Do the people who do evil deeds think that they will outrun us or defeat us? Evil is what they judge. So these three ayats in Surah Al-Kabut, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us that trial and test and tribulation is part of our life. It's not going anywhere. If anybody thinks that there'll come a time in my life when I can retire and relax, there is no retirement. Technically, in Islam, there is no retirement. This is a Western concept. Did any of the Khulafa Rashidin retire after 60, 65? In fact, Hadrat Uthman ibn Affan, he was a Khalifa while he was 80 years old. He was Shaheed in 82 years of age. He, as a being sitting Khalifa, he was martyred by the civil strife that happened in Medina, and he is post 65. So we know from the history of Islam, there is no retirement. You don't retire. The only retirement is where? In the grave. When we 6 feet under. The only time we retire is when you say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Now you're retired. Because now there's no work, no amal, nothing. While we're alive, even in old age, there is test in front. Our dear brother Bashir, Fani is sitting here, and he will tell you there are many tests. You're facing tests even at this age, right? There's no retirement. Your tests are different from my tests. My tests are different from his. His are different from his. Each one has their share of tests. If somebody thinks that when they reach 70, 75, 80, 85, Allah will stop sending tests, imtihan, ikhtibar, wrong. We don't retire until inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And that is why the people who came before us, the prophets of Allah and the people, they were tested to the core. There's an ayah in Surah Baqarah, I forget where exactly that is, but in Surah Baqarah Allah says, حتى يقول الرسول والذين معه متى نصر الله. ما هذه الآية? What's the ayah beginning of the ayah? أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتي مثل خلوا من قبلكم بستهم الضراء and بأسا وضراء. Do you think you will enter Jannah without the example of the people that came before you who were tested with adversity and hardship? Until the Prophet and the people, this is about a Prophet, Allah talking about in this ayah. The Prophet that came before Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu the Qawm that came before our Qawm. Allah is talking about them, حتى يقول الرسول والذين معه متى نصر الله. They were tested so much in adversity and hardship that the people and the Prophet at that time, they said, Ya Allah, mata nasrullah. When is your nusrah is coming? We are tested to the core. We are pushed to the limit. We are on the wall. And the ayah itself is a question. حتى يقول الرسول والذين معه متى نصر الله ألا إن نصر الله قريب. See, the moment we start becoming impatient, musta'jil. The moment we start impatient, too much test, I can't bear it. You're just about to surrender. You're about to throw the towel in. You're about to give up. The moment that happens, the nusrah from Allah comes. Allah just tests us to the maximum limit. Do we know our maximum limit of test? How much we can bardash? How much can we bear? Does anybody know what is our own capacity? Nobody knows. Who knows? Allah knows. Again in Surah Baqarah, Allah said in Surah Baqarah, the last two ayahs, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. لا يكلف. Yukallif means taklif, responsibility. Allah does not put a burden upon us إلا وسعها, more than your capacity. We think when we are in karb, karb means pain. Last Saturday also I used these Arabic words, so we learned the terminologies. Karb means pain. When we are in pain, we feel like this is it, this is enough. I can't take this pain anymore. My head is just breaking apart. It's big, stressful and tension and headache. And the person is about to collapse. But Allah says, I know your capacity. I know how much you can bear. Remember one of the ayat we said last time on Saturday is from Surah Balad. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We created insan in kabad, which means trial, struggle. You are going to be struggling all your life. من اللهد, huh? From the mahad ila lahad, all the way through, the whole life is covered. We are constantly in struggle. Now, here comes the question, which is our topic today. How to cope with all these struggles? The reason I made this introduction, to make us understand that nothing is beyond our capacity. Nothing beyond, you can't take a load on your shoulder more than your capacity. So Allah has already guaranteed that whatever load and burden is coming your way, it's not more than your capacity. You have the capacity. That is where in today's social sciences, they have this new terminology that they teach in colleges and schools. They call it capacity building. Even many big firms, many big companies, they train their employees on capacity building. Why? Because they want to build your capacity that you can take more and more. So one thing we know for sure, that Allah is building our capacity through these trials and tribulations. Now, how to cope with these trials and tribulations? And for that, we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Fussilat, a beautiful ayah that helps us understand how to bear all of this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in verse number 30, Surah Fussilat, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا. The topic today is how to cope with trials and tribulations and hardships in light of Quran and Sunnah. First thing Allah telling us in the Quran itself, in Surah Fussilat, Surah 41, verse number 30, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا. Those people who say that their Lord is Allah, and then they are istiqamah, and then they are mustaqim, they are firm and stable on it. When Rasulullah was sending Mu'az ibn Jabal to Yemen, he said, قُلْ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقِيمُ. O Mu'az, say La ilaha illallah and then be firm on it. Stick to it. No matter what comes your way, even if somebody is pulling your nails out of your finger, you still say La ilaha illallah. This is istiqamah, meaning whatever hardship you're going through. Bilal ibn Rabah, he had a huge big stone on his chest, and all they kept saying is denounce Tawheed, denounce Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just get rid of that, and we will release you. We will remove the stone and we'll release you and everything fine. And he kept saying, he could not say, when you have a big stone on your chest, you can't say La ilaha illallah. To say La ilaha illallah, you need some breath, you need some lung capacity. You don't have that. You have a huge load on your chest, so you can't even breathe properly. You can't even say La ilaha illallah. So what? So Bilal ibn Rabah was intelligent. He was smart. He said, I can't say the whole statement. What can I say that will still make my masters aggravated? So what did he say? Ahad, ahad. Because if you look at it, if you have a huge burden, huge weight on your chest, to say ahad, it's easy because you can exhale your air, your breath. You just say ahad, ahad, ahad. So saying ahad is easy. This is the meaning of inna alladhina qalu rabbuna Allah thumma istaqamu. Those who say their Lord is Allah and then they remain firm and stable on it. No power, no might removes them from that istiqamah. You know that dua that we say sometimes, or that dhikr we say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Anybody know what the meaning of this is? A lot of times people like us from India, Pakistan, we say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah when there is some fahisha, some burai, some evil, some munkar is there, they say La hawla wa la quwwata. But they don't realize what the meaning is. They're using it in the wrong place. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah is a power statement, is a mission statement. What is the meaning? Anybody know? La hawla wa la quwwata. There is no power, there is no might, quwwat, illa billah, except Allah has the full strength and full power and full might. Ashaddu balad al-anbiya. The most tested amongst humanity were the prophets of Allah. All the prophets of Allah were tested to the core. If we go through the test that they went through, we would be shattered, we would be lost. ثُمَّ الْأَمْثَلُ فَالْأَمْثَلُ. And then the one that comes after them and after them, meaning after the Anbiya, it's ulama. After the ulama is the A'imma. And after the A'imma, Ammatun Nas. So everyone is tested على قدر عقولهم. Everyone is tested based on their level and capacity that they are there. The prophets have the highest capacity, so they're tested the most. Then the ulama, the scholars are also tested according to their ilm and knowledge, to their capacity. Then the aimma, the leaders of the faithfuls in the masajid, the imams also. And then ammatun nas, and the regular people. And Allah is saying that those people who say, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا, what will happen to them? تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. If you remain firm and stable in your test, you will see malaika descend and help and hover around you and help you and make dua for you and strengthen you. تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. You will not see the angels descend down. You will not see them coming down. They're invisible. We cannot see them. But their presence will be felt in the room. Their presence will be felt in your environment, in your sohbah. Because Allah has sent those malaika towards you to help and support you. When you are depressed, when you are under panic attack, when you are in anxiety, when you are nervous, when you have a nervous breakdown, when you're in stress, when you're in tension, when you cannot bear, it is malaika that come and uplift your spirit. They boost your iman. They make dua for you. They make istighfar for you. That, oh Allah, forgive this person because they're going through an extreme test. Let me ask you this. Recall the last time you had an extreme test, whatever it was. Whether it was a loss of a job, loss of a car, loss of a loved one, someone died in your family, whether it was loss of anything that you felt, that was the real test. Think about it. At that time, you were feeling very, very depressed. You may be even crying, not in front of people, but in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you may be crying so much in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that moment, في ذلك اللحظة, as we say in Arabic. In that moment when you were crying and feeling that stress, how did you change yourself? How did you control yourself? It was the malaika that came and made dua for you. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you the intuition, ilham, to have sabr. Like Rasulullah said, as-sabru fi sadmat al-ula. Patience is in the first onset of the sadma, the disaster that comes, the calamity that comes. At that first moment is the patience. Being patient later on is no use. It is to be patient at the time that it comes. And that is why in this ayah Allah says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. ما معنى تتنزل عليهم الملائكة؟ تتنزل عليهم السكينة وَالطَّمَأْنِينَةُ. When angels descend down, they bring with them, as they are hovering with their wings, they bring with them itminan, sukoon. You suddenly feel you are crying so badly, you lost something, you lost somebody, or something is happening, and suddenly you feel in your heart somebody is talking to you, somebody is giving you sukoon. Suddenly you feel in your heart istiqamah, stability. Where is that coming from? Malaika. Allah sends the malaika, go to this fulan ibn fulan, go to that person. I have tested them today. They lost their father, they lost their mother, they lost their husband, they lost their wife or son or daughter. They're an extreme test. Malaika come. Imagine when you lose your mother, how you feel. You feel like the whole world has gone. You want to finish yourself, right? Remember the day you lost your mom or dad, if you have lost it. That day you felt like هذا نهاية الوقت. This is the end of the world. But look at today, you still continue. Who came with istiqamah on that day when your mother and father were buried in the grave and you were alone and lonely in the dunya? The hands that used to make dua for you are no longer there being raised because they are under the ground. But Allah, تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. And what is the first thing the malaika say when they come down? They say it to you in your heart, in your mind, in your ears, but you don't hear it. Just feel it, you sense it. تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا. You are crying and crying. You lost your father, you lost your mother, you lost your job, you lost your business, you lost your son or daughter, you lost something that is making you depressed and sad. You're crying, but the malaika are saying, لا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا. تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا. Two things the malaika say to the person who's going through extreme test. You feel like you want to commit suicide. You feel like this is the end of the world. What good is it living anymore? I've lost everything. But malaika say, no, you have not lost everything. This is just an imtihan, ikhtibar. trial, test from Allah. Allah loves you so much. There's a hadith from Rasulullah, he said, إِذَا أَحَبَّ اللَّهُ عَبْدًا ابْتَلَاهُ. You know, sometimes people ask me this question, brother, why Allah gives so much test? Just give me one or two in the year. It's enough. That's it. I can't do more. I say, look at the hadith of Rasulullah. Rasulullah is saying, إِذَا أَحَبَّ اللَّهُ عَبْدًا ابْتَلَاهُ. You want Allah to love you? Tell me, yes or no? Yes? No? No? Yes? Yes? Rasulullah is saying, is أحب الله عبدا. Listen to what Rasulullah is saying. When Allah loves someone, what does He do? He doesn't hug them or kiss them. ابتلاه. أنا أحبك يا عبدي. Allah is calling us. Allah is talking to us. Ya Bani Adam, Ya Fulan ibn Fulan. Huh? Allah knows our name, our father's name, our grandfather's name. Allah knows all our ajdad, all our people, ancestors' name. And He says, Ya Abdi, inni uhibbak. Oh my slave, I love you. Now the test will come. Now the test will come because Allah wants to see, هل أنت صادق في حبك لله سبحانه وتعالى أم أنت كاذبا? Translation, Allah is saying, are you sadiq? Are you truthful in your love for Allah? When you say, Ana uhibbu Allah, I love Allah. When you say this, are you true in this or not? Or are you just fake, superficial? Yeah, I love Allah. Yes, I love you for the sake of Allah. But then I go behind your back and start giving ghibah. Astaghfirullah. Yeah, I love you for the sake of Allah. But I go behind your back and say, oh, don't be a friend with that person. That person. What is this? In the front something, behind something. Iman is all straightforward. So Rasulullah is saying, when Allah loves someone, He tests them. So if you don't want Allah, if you don't want any test from Allah, guess what? Allah's not going to love you. So if you don't want the love from Allah to come, then relax. In fact, the Sahaba Kiram radhiyallahu ajma'in, they used to get scared, worried, concerned, humum, when there is no test. They would come to Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, last 2 days I've gone without any test. Has Allah stopped loving us? Allah. Look at the mindset of the Sahaba. If we 2 days, if we have no test, thank you. Thank you, Allah, thank you, 2 days. They are saying opposite. 2 days, no test came. Is Allah upset? Is Allah za'lan? Is Allah angry with us? Ya Rasulullah. Because they heard Rasulullah say, is أحب الله عبدا ابتلاه. When Allah loves somebody, He tests them to see if they really love Him. When will Allah know that you love Him? Tell me this. When will Allah know that you love Him? That is one aspect. When you give thanks, like the brother said, when you give thanks in the difficult time, that is showing you love Allah. But more than that, huh? You show patience, yes, more than that. Keep going. These answers are good. They're all good answers, they're correct. But I'm looking for the highest answer, which is from the seerah of Rasulullah. He taught us, he was a role model, uswa hasana. He showed us that if you really want to show Allah your love, then do this in the time of bala. But that is also there. Yes. You're getting closer to the answer. That is also true. More remembrance of Allah, the dhikr of Allah. Remember, we said that last Saturday. We want to make this interactive. So you answer. You are getting there. Like last Saturday, we had a nice competition. We had some people answering back and they really won the battle. Think about it. When you are in deep test and core, you're crying, you're hazeen, huzn, sadness, depression. And Rasulullah went through extreme sadness also. Tawakkal Allah, we said that last year. Yes, you tawakkal Allah, that's true. Huh? Mumtaz. Allah yaftah alayya. Masha. Mumtaz. Excellent. Bullseye. Can you say one more time? Did you hear it? Aisha Siddiqa rita anha. Al-Mu'mineen, Aisha Siddiqa rita anha. She asked Rasulullah sallallahu. She asked him, Ma ashaddu al-yawm ya Rasulullah sallallahu. Was Uhud the most difficult time for you when your teeth were shattered? And Rasulullah replied to Aisha that, oh Aisha, Uhud was not difficult for me. Uhud I bear. The difficult day for me was Ta'if. لما خرجوني من طائف. What did Rasulullah do when he was kicked out of Taif? He made dua. Huh? Allahumma ilayka ashku. This dua makes you cry. I know, ask the Arabs. Al-Arab hum ya'rifun al-kalam. This dua is so powerful. Dua at-Taif of Rasulullah, it makes you cry. And buka kabir. There are many ulama today who still, when they make this dua, even Shaykh Sudais, when he makes this dua of Taif of Rasulullah, you cry. Because the words are so monumental, magnificent words. Allahumma ilayka ashku dha'fa quwwati wa hilati wa hawani ala nas. I haven't memorized the whole dua, but the beginning is, oh Allah, to you I complain my weakness. He's not weak. He went to give Taif da'wah. They threw stones at him, they put him. He's saying, I am weak, Ya Allah, that I could not deliver the message. Wa hawani ala nas, and my inability to convince the people. But you know what the core part of the dua is? The main part of the dua, which I memorize, which I recite whenever I'm very, very sad and depressed, I recite this part in sujood, in sajda. And what is that part? Memorize it. فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ غَضْبُكَ عَلَيَّ فَلَا أُبَالِي. Allah. Look at the nida. Look at the dua of Rasulullah. He's saying, فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ غَضَبُكَ عَلَيَّ فَلَا أُبَالِي. Ya Allah, send whatever you want to send my way. Give the biggest test. As long as your ghadab is not on me, fala ubali. What does fala ubali mean? That's that Shaykh. Fala ubali. Translate for me. I wanted to hear it from the Arabs. Alhamdulillah. Did you hear him? This is exact translation. Rasulullah is saying, no matter how much I cry, how much I am weak, how much they are putting stones at me, no matter how much test I'm going, Ya Allah, if your ghadab is not on me, I don't care. Allah. Stamina. This is what we call in English W-I-T, wit. Look at the wit of Rasulullah. He is pushed to the core. He is shattered. He's bleeding. Jibreel alayhi salam is saying, Umar, Ya Rasulullah, order, Ya Rasulullah, I will crush these mountains of Taif and these people will be gone. Just give us an order, Ya Rasulullah. Jibreel is saying, and Rasulullah is saying, no. Instead, he's making dua, فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ غَضَبُكَ عَلَيَّ فَلَا أُبَالِي. I keep reciting this whenever I'm in the car, feeling sad, you're at home, on your bed, wherever you are, just recite these words, فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ غَضَبُكَ عَلَيَّ فَلَا أُبَالِي. Oh Allah, if your ghadab, if your anger is not upon me, despite all these tests, despite what these people are saying, despite what all the opposing people are saying to me and doing to me, if somebody is doing your character assassination, if somebody is doing your ghiba, if somebody is attacking your integrity, if somebody is attacking your respect and honor and wiqar and ihtiram in society, just say to Allah in the darkness of night in sajda, فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ غَضَبُكَ عَلَيَّ فَلَا أُبَالِي يَا Allah. Is Allah ma'i? Is anta ma'i ya Allah? Fala ubali. If you are with me, ya Allah, no matter how much test is going, I don't care. I don't care because Allah is with me. And Allah is happy. If Allah is happy with me while I'm crying, so be it. If Allah is happy with me when I've lost my loved ones, so be it. If Allah is happy with me when I lost my job, lost my business, so be it because Allah is happy. Why are we in this dunya? Tell me, brother and sister, why are we in this dunya? To make our parents happy, to make our spouse happy, to make our children happy, to make the society happy, to make the people happy. Why are we in this dunya? To make only that being happy, which is the most concerned. Rida of Allah. You recite that ayah, right? In Surah Fajr. Is it Surah Fajr? Which surah is that? I forget. Radiyallahu anhu wa radu anhu. Right? Surah Fajr, right? Radiyallahu anhu. Allah is radi. What does it mean, radi? Allah is happy with you. He's pleased. If losing your spouse makes Allah happy, so be it. Allah is happy. Yes, losing a spouse is a very bad thing. It's very depressing. But Allah is with me in every test and core. That's why when he was tested to the core, Aisha Siddiqa is asking that perhaps she's thinking that, oh, Uhud was very bad for you, Rasulullah. You lost your tooth, you lost your teeth, you were bleeding. Maybe that was a very bad day. He says, no, I was able to bear Uhud, ya Aisha. But that was the most difficult day when I was kicked out of Taif and I was bleeding and my shoes had blood. Even then, Rasulullah did not shatter. He did not break apart. He did not surrender. He did not give up. Ya Allah, my bus. Ya Allah, bus. I can't do anymore. So Urdu mein kehte hain, bas meri bus ho gayi. There is no end of Rasulullah's stamina. He was tested to the core. So like you said, tawakkul, taqwa, patience, sabr. But the most important answer is dua. Never ever. Remember the dua you make at the time of karb. The dua that you make at the time of dha'f. The dua you make at the time of imtihan, fitna. When you're tested to the core and you realize that I'm being tested by Allah, at that moment that dua mustajab. Allah is very close to you at that time because He has put you to the test. He has put you to that torment and trial. And He's telling His malaika, look, I have tested them so much. Still he or she is making dua. Ya Allah, be radi. Ya Allah, be radi. فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ غَضْبُكَ عَلَيَّ فَلَا أُبَالِي. Memorize these words. If you cannot memorize the whole dua of Taif, if you can, that's good. But if not, it's a long dua of Taif. But memorize this part of the dua of Taif for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ غَضَبُكَ عَلَيَّ فَلَا أُبَالِي فَلَا أُبَالِي فَلَا أُبَالِي. Oh Allah, if your anger and your wrath is not upon me in the mid of this test, I don't care about the world. I don't care about the dunya. I don't care about the people. I don't care what people say to me. My only care and concern is what? رضي الله عنه ورضي. إذا أنت راضي عني يا الله يا إله يا ربي يا خالقي يا مالكي يا رازقي إذا أنت راضي عني فلا أبالي. If you are pleased with me, then I have nothing to worry. Yes, I lost my job, but I know you're Razzaq. Yes, I lost my mother and my father, but I know that you are Kareem. You will fill in and you will join me again in Jannah. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَاتَّبَعْتُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ بِإِيمَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ. This is the wa'ad of Allah, that if you are separated from your father and mother in dunya, you will be rejoining your father and mother or your son and daughter in Jannah. This is only temporary. هَذَا فِرَاقٌ. This is a temporary separation. So one of the biggest thing in the topic that is today, that how do we cope with the trials and tribulations in the time of adversity and difficulty, is the first and most important dua, kathratul dua. Make dua to Allah. And the best maqam to make dua is sajda, sujood. But yes, I know in sajda and sujood we have to make dua in Arabic, so many of us are not Arabs who cannot make dua in Arabic. So therefore, at least make dua, whatever Arabic dua you've learned, you can do. And if you are outside salah, you can just make sajda anytime. So if you're outside salah and you're making sajda, you can make dua in your own native language. There is no haraj in that, because you're not in halatul salah. In halatul salah, you have to make dua only in Arabic if you're making any dua. So you memorize that. But outside that, sajda is not haram. You can make sajda to Allah anytime. You have sajda to shukr, sajda to tawbah, sajda to istighfar, or just sajda to hajah. Ya Allah, hajati. Making Allah. And that is what Allah is saying here. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ. This is the key part of the ayah. وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ. What is the bushra? Bushra means good news, glad tidings. The good news that the malaika are giving in the time of the test and trial of that slave of Allah is that look, for you is Jannah. You bear this test. You bear this fitna, you bear this fitan and trial and tribulation and exam, you will get Jannah. Allah will be radi with you, Allah will be pleased with you, and you will get Jannah. وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ. At the time when you are sad, hazeen, shiddatul huzn, extreme depression, extreme sadness when you are in your test, at that moment, A, you make dua, B, you start making yourself that I want Allah to be happy with me. So you say, oh Allah, I am patiently bearing this test that you be radiyan. So one, you make dua. Two, you ask Allah that, oh Allah, in return of this test, me being patient in return of this test, give me your rida. Rida of Allah is the most prized, coveted possession. And the third thing is, oh Allah, bless me with Jannah. Whatever test comes our way, if we make dua to Allah, in return for this test, give me Jannah. Is anything bigger than Jannah? هل أي شيء أكبر من جنة في العالم? Is there anything in this whole universe bigger than Jannah? So when you are in sujood and crying to Allah, al-buka lillah, and you're asking Allah, oh Allah, bless me Jannah in return for this shiddah of the test. This test that I have, Ya Allah, bless me Jannah. So the dua you make, فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ غَضَبُكَ عَلَيَّ فَلَا أُبَالِي, and then you say, اللهم أنت تكون راضي عني, oh Allah, ارضي عني وارضي عنا, for جميعا, collectively. And the third thing you say, اللهم بلغني الجنة, ارزقني الجنة, oh Allah, give me Jannah. Because remember, whatever problem you're facing, whatever difficulty and test you're facing here in dunya, that problem, that difficulty, that problem itself, is it bigger than Jannah or no? Is it bigger than Jannah? So if you, this is what we, remember last Saturday we were talking about positivity. Here is where you can flip everything. Everything is negative. Things are going against you. Everything is against you. The problem that is there is against you. The difficulty is making you cry. It's giving you sadness, huzn. So you switch everything and say, if this whole negativity I accept and absorb it, and I get Jannah in return for this, this is a win-win deal. This is a win-win deal. What more can you want? I mean, if something, that is why when the people were torturing the Sahaba, the Quraysh, when they're torturing, they say, do whatever you want. They're piercing forks or things, swords. They're piercing them, and they're putting daggers, and they are smiling. And the people, the Quraysh got worried. What kind of people these are? We're giving them aziyat, we're giving them torture, and they're smiling. Because, lana fil jannah. This life has no meaning. Does هذا الدنيا هل له معنى؟ لا. I mentioned this last Saturday, that this world, does it have any meaning in front of Allah? No. In fact, there's a hadith of Rasulullah that this life, the dunya, this whole dunya is not equal even to one wing of ba'udah. Allahu Akbar. Machar. Look at machar, mosquito. Look at mosquito. How small? You don't see mosquitoes here in America, but in Pakistan, India, is there any in Egypt? Any mosquito in Egypt? No? Yeah. Sawa. Everything is safe. In third world countries, you have mosquitoes. You go out there, they're sucking your blood. The government is sucking blood and the mosquito is sucking blood. Both sucking blood. So the mosquito is going, you hit, you see so much blood. It is your own blood that came out. And Rasulullah is saying, this small mosquito that you see that you hit on your hand, look at its wing. You have to look at the wing from a microscope. You can't look through it from the naked eye. It's so small. This whole dunya, this whole universe is not equal to. In mathematics they say equal or not equal to. It's a cross. This is not equal to that wing. Yani the wing of the mosquito is better than dunya. One wing. Yes, thank you for correcting me. One wing, forget the second one. Just one wing is better, afdal min ad-dunya. And we are crying for this dunya. We're crying for this dunya. We're worried of this dunya. Every time we are sad, ultimate goal is what? Dunya. You lost something in this dunya, you are sad. Losing something in this dunya make me sad? No. Because losing anything in this dunya will bring me Jannah. And that is how we cope with huzn. And that's what the malaika help us do. أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ. We give you the good news of Jannah. Not only that, but in the time of adversity, in the time of the test, one more thing Allah gives us as gift. In this ayah, Allah says, the angels then say to us who are in the test, who are really, really sad and depressed, the angels tell us, نَحْنُ أَوْلِيَاؤُكُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ. We are your awliya. We are friends and buddies. Allah. Imagine your friend being a malak, angel. And angels with you all the time hovering. This person Allah is pleased with this person. Allah loves this person. Why? Because every test Allah sent this person, he or she accepted with a smile. They are happy with Allah's test. So the malaika are following them, going behind them, all the places. نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا. نحن أولياؤكم, we are your friend, your wali. Awliya is a plural of wali. We are your friend, your close friend في الدنيا. They're helping us, they're supporting us, they're giving us intuition, they're giving us good thoughts. In another riwayah, Rasulullah said, any good thought that comes to you in your mind, any good deed, any hasana that comes to you in your mind is not from shaitan, it's from the malaika. The malaika are looking after our interests. The malaika want us to profit in dunya. So the malaika give us a good thought. You see a banana peel somewhere on the road, it's the malaika that gives you the thought, the fikr. The concern, oh, pick it up, earn a sadaqah, earn an ajr, pick it up and throw it. Shaitan will never want you to earn anything, right? Shaitan is not our friend. Shaitan doesn't want to help us. It's the malaika that help us. So every good deed that comes to your mind as a thought, remember it's from the malaika who are with you. نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. We are your friends here in dunya. Imagine having your best friends as angels. Oh, amazing. It's like riding the sky on the clouds. You're on the ninth heaven. That's how you are if the malaika are with you all the time, if you only be patient and bear and persevere through the fitna, through the test and trial that is coming your way. That is what Allah is saying. نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then informing us that look, is akhirah better than dunya or dunya better than akhirah? Because no matter, that is the thing, that is how you change your attitude. It's all about attitude. It's all about mental strength. Al-quwwa al-iradiyya, the mental strength. If you're like these athletes in sportsmen, the athletes, why are they sometimes not defeated? Everything is going against them. The score is against them. They have a huge task to win the battle in the game, but they don't give up. They don't surrender. It's the mental strength. They say, yes, I can still do it. I can do it till the last moment, until the last minute that we have to play in the game. I can do it because it's their mental strength that brings the positivity in them. What is our mental strength as a mu'min, as a believer? Jannah. نحن أولياءكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. وأبشروا بالجنة. This ayah, Allah is saying that the angels, they come and say, for you, O insan, is the good news that there is Jannah, and for you, ya insan, the good news is that we angels are your friends and protectors. Awliya is the plural of wali. Wali is someone who looks after your interests, who protects you. A lot of times you have small crawling baby, it falls over from the bed or falls from here. You feel, oh my God, they must get hurt. But you see nothing happen. Just a little bit cry, they're okay. Malaika are there. Angels are always around us. If you are mustaqim, if you have istiqamah, mustaqim in the test and trial, the malaika are there with you, around you, surrounding you, protecting you, preserving you. Many times you see outside on the streets, there's a big, very, very bad car accident. You look at the car, you say, nobody must have survived on that. That car is like smashed, shattered. And then you turn around, you see by the ambulance, there's a man standing, just bleeding, a few bruises. You were in that car? Wow, how did you get saved? Malaika. نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. Allah sends angels, malaika, to protect us and preserve us. And that is what Allah is saying here, that they are their angels to protect and preserve us, because we are fulfilling the imtihan, ikhtibar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why the next thing Allah says in the ayah, وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِي أَنفُسُكُمْ وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَدَّعُونَ. Allah is saying to the person who's going through all this test and trial, وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِي. For you in Jannah, for the test and trial that you're going through here in dunya, for you in Jannah is whatever you ishtaha, desire. Ishtaha means what you want, what you desire. You had a desire in your heart, but you never brought it to the tongue. And that's why both the words are used in this ayah. This ayah is amazing. وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِي وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَدَّعُونَ. تَدَّعُونَ idda'a. You pronounce it from your tongue. When does a ishtiha become idda'a? When does a desire become a want? When you bring it on your tongue. Right now, I am desiring something. Do you know what I'm desiring in my heart? I want a glass of water. That is what I was desiring. Now it became da'wah. Ishtiha, da'wah. وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِي أَنفُسُكُمْ وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَدَّعُونَ. أُرِيد كَأْسُ الْمَاء. This is now da'wah. It was in my heart, nobody knew. When it came on my tongue, everybody knew. This is the difference between. And Allah is saying, you will have in Jannah whatever you desire, ishtiha, and whatever you ask openly. Which means what? That sometimes you feel like in your heart in Jannah, I wish I had a nice apple. And you would not even say it from your tongue, the apple will be in front of you. Hey, where did the apple tufah come from? Allah knows. knows. يَعْلَمُ خَائِنَةُ الْأَعْيُنِ وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورُ. Allah knows what's in our heart. So the heart in Jannah desired tufah, boom, is right there. In dunya, you have to shout to somebody, please bring tufah, tufah, tufah. Then the tufah comes, then the apple comes. In Jannah, whatever you desire, Allah will give you. Whatever you ask, Allah will give you. Subhanallah. And you just thought about it, it's there. Now don't tell me you thought about a hoor, because hoor will be there all the time with you. Don't worry. You will not desire the hoor, because she's with you all the time, right, left, front. So that's not going to be your desire. Your desire is going to be bigger things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِي أَنفُسُكُمْ وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَدَّعُونَ. For you will be there, everything that you desire, everything you want, because you bear, you persevered, you were patient in the test and trial and tribulation. So in conclusion, how do we face these trials and tribulations? First thing, as you said, dua. Making kathrat dua in that time. Fi lahbat shiddah, as we say in Arabic. The shiddah you have, the stress factor you have, the moment you feel the stress of the test that is coming, at that moment, leave everything, stop talking to everybody, get busy in dua. Because that dua is accepted. That's the first thing. Second thing, ask Allah that Allah, you be pleased with me. This test you gave me, whatever that test is, could be a variety of tests. You tell Allah, after making dua, you ask Allah that, oh Allah, be radi with me in return for this test. If your rida is me going through this test, I will go through it. I will bear it happily with a smile, without any sweat, anything. I will bear through it. And the third thing you say is what? Give me what? Give me the strength to bear through this. Istiqamah. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. Istiqamah is a very huge concept. Falsafat istiqamah fil Quran is huge. It has mental strength. It has soul strength, the strength of the ruh, the soul. It has body strength. Sometimes your body is not supporting you. You are really drained in the test. You're feeling fatigued and tired, but you bring your mental strength, your soul strength into it. That, oh Allah, see me through this strength. See me through this test. Once it's over. Because remember, nothing is permanent except who? Allah. Nothing is permanent. Today you have the test. Is the test going to stay with you for a long time? Today you have the test, few weeks, few months, it's gone. When you look back, you say, oh, how foolish I was. Ahmaq. I was foolish. Crying, shouting, yelling, screaming, while that test was going on, pulling my hair, saying all kinds of things. See, Shaitan, Iblis, Lanatullah alayhi, he comes huge when we are going through tests. The biggest waswasa Shaitan puts, look, Allah deserted. Allah left you. Look at you. What is Allah doing? Where is your God? Where is Allah? One of the biggest waswasa Shaitan puts in the mind when you are going through any test, ikhtibar, fitna, is there is no God. Mafish ilah. Wain ilah? Wain ilah? Your ilah has left you alone in this test. Where is your ilah? This is kufr that Shaitan, Iblis puts. And the second biggest waswasa, you know what Shaitan puts? Who knows? I know none of you are Shaitan, alhamdulillah, all of you are Muslimin. But sometimes it comes to you, but you know what it comes. What's the second thing that Shaitan puts in the mind? Huh? No. Think. When you are in the extreme test and you're about to lose your iman, what's the thing that Shaitan puts in your mind that pushes you to lose your iman? It's only 2 words. He just puts 2 words in your mind. And you say, yeah, you're right, Shaitan. In English, the first word starts with W. In Arabic, the first word starts with lam. In English, the first word starts with W. The second word starts with M. Huh? In Arabic, the first word starts with lam, li, and the second word starts with alif or hamza. Yes. Why me? Ya Allah, why me? لما أنا؟ لما هذا الاختبار لي يا الله؟ ليش أنا من كل كل البشر من كل الإنسانية ليش أنا الوحيد لهذا الاختبار يا الله. يعني you start making مجادلة جدال مع الله. هذا كفر. In the اختبار, in the test, امتحان, shaitan is making you to lose your iman. Because shaitan will now make you say kalimat bil-kufr. First thing shaitan says, why me? Why out of all the people in this universe, why me going through this? Why am I going through this fitna? Ya Allah, lima ana لهذا الاختبار, لهذا الامتحان. And then the person starts saying, yeah, you're right. Why me? خلاص. ما بديش. I don't want iman. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Many people have lost their iman when they had the اختبار, امتحان from Allah. Yes, murtad, asbahu murtad, apostate. I've spoken to many apostates here and in Pakistan. What made you turn? What made you murtad? And when you find out, when you go deep and ask, you find out it's a test, imtihan from Allah. Like they lost a loved one, someone they lost in their life, they lost their business, everything finished, they came to the road, zero. So they just went berserk. See, these imtihan, these tests and trials, they come. Sometimes Allah will send a huge test that will bring you back to zero. You are all the way up to 100. From 100, He brings you back all the way to zero. You build the whole business, the whole empire, and then you're back to zero. You're nothing. You're muflis, penniless. It's a test from Allah. Some people lose their iman. They become apostate. They say, oh, Allah doesn't love me. Oh, there is no Allah, astaghfirullah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. They say, why me? Limada ana? Lima ana? Why Allah chose me to have through all this? Why don't other people go through the test? Why only me? You lost the spirit. You lost the message. Why you? Remember, what's the answer for why me? Who can tell? How can you push back shaitan when he puts the waswas in your brain? Why me? How can you push back? I answered this already a few moments ago. Oh, mashallah, mashallah, mashallah. That means you guys are good students. I delivered the message correctly. Alhamdulillah. That was your test. That was your test. You passed the test. Mabruk. All of you are Jannati, inshallah. Inshallah. Because Allah loves you. When shaitan says to you, why me? Because Allah loves me. Why me? لما أنا؟ لأن الله يحبني. لأن الله يحبني. إذا أحب الله عبدا ابتلاه. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا أحب الله عبدا ابتلاه. وقال الشيطان لما أنا؟ لما أنت؟ لما أنا؟ لأنني محب إلى الله. Shaitan says, why you? Why you? You say to Shaitan, because I am beloved to Allah. And Allah loves me. Because He loves me, He wants to test me. Whether that test comes as young as 15-year-old, 16-year-old, whether that test comes as big as 70-year-old. Everybody has their share of tests, has their own way. We have to just cope and push back. Remember what Allah said in the Quran. In the same surah, the next ayah Allah says, idfa' billati hiya ahsan. Push back, repel with something bad, with good. The bad comes to you. Shaitan puts the bad. Waswasa shaitan is bad. Waswasa from shaitan is bad. You push it back with ahsan. Allah loves you. Shaitan will be lost. Shaitan will be defeated. Shaitan cannot defeat you because now he knows that, oh, you know Allah loves you, and yes, Allah loves you. So that is why we make dua, we make commitment to Allah. And the biggest thing we put in our mind, this test that I'm going through is not bigger than Jannah. If I can get Jannah through this test, so be it. If Allah took away my mother to test me, my love for Allah, I will sacrifice this also for the sake of Allah to get Jannah. That is why the Sahaba Ridwan Ajmain used to say a maqula, a phrase in Arabic all the time in Mecca, Medina. What was that phrase? Bi abi wa ummi anta ya Rasulullah. Bi abi wa ummi anta ya Rasulullah. What does that mean? May my parents be sacrificed for you, Ya Rasulullah. If I have to sacrifice my parents for Allah's sake, yes. If I have to sacrifice my son, my daughter for Allah's sake to get the rid of Allah, yes. That was the ikhtibar of Ibrahim alayhi salam. What did Allah say to Ibrahim? Sacrifice your son. Show me that you love me. Ibrahim alayhi salam brought his son, put him down. Yes, Ya Allah, I love you. Allah said in the Quran, in Surah Safat, Inna hadha lahu al-bala'u mubin. Allah gave a certificate to Ibrahim alayhi salam. No one has been tested so hard as much as Ibrahim alayhi salam, that he has been tested through his son Ismail. And Allah says, Inna hadha lahu al-bala'u mubin. This is a huge Apparent, distinctive bala, test. Imagine if you are asked to sacrifice your son, will you be able to do it? So that is why the bala comes from Allah to strengthen our resolve, to make us love Allah more. And remember the dua of Taif. Remember, go back home. This is your homework until next Saturday. Memorize just that part of the dua that I just told you today. فَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ غَضَبُكَ عَلَيَّ فَلَا أُبَالِي فَلَا أُبَالِي فَلَا أُبَالِي. You know, many times people out on the streets, they say, I don't care, I don't care. This is exactly what the dua is. I don't care what the world thinks. I don't care what the world happens. As long as my Allah, my Rabb, my Khaliq, my Creator, my Lord is happy with me, that is what I care. And that is the only care I need to worry about, because that will get me to Jannah. Nothing of this dunya will get me to Jannah. Any questions before we make dua, inshallah? Anything unclear in today's topic? Our topic next Saturday, inshallah, will be April 16, sins and forgiveness. How Quran and Sunnah address them. Sins and forgiveness, inshallah, next Saturday. Yes? You can make sajda anytime, any moment. It's the niyyah. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ. The brother is asking, can you elaborate on the sajda? You can make sajda to Allah all the time. And you just have the niyyah, what is the sajda for? Intention. So when you're going to sajda, maybe it's sajda for tilawah the Quran, sajda comes up, you make sajda. Maybe you're very happy, you got a very good news, like you got the best job, the dream job. Sajda to shukr. You just immediately go inside. The moment you get the news, just get it down or put your head on the ground. Sajda shukr. You're feeling very down, you're feeling very sad, depressed. Maybe you've done some sins that you recall, you've done some mistakes you recall. Get on the ground, put your head on down, sajda to tawbah, istighfar, sajda to istighfar. Oh Allah, I am making istighfar, tawbah for all my sins, whatever you are recalling, whatever I don't recall, even for that. Then you have sajdatul hajah. You have a need, desire, right? There is salatul hajah, there is salatul shukr, there is salatul tawbah, there is salatul istighfar. Just like that, sajda. Salah is there on its way. Sajda is the place where you are the most qareeb to Allah. I don't want to recite that ayah, because according to one school of thought, if I recite that ayah, then you will have to do sajda. All of us will have sajda. But you know which ayah I'm talking about. It's in Surah Alaq. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. That ayah comes over there, which the meaning is that Allah is saying, make sajda and you will be close to. So that's why we make sajda. We make salah, but we also can make sajda. Yeah. When time is what? Yeah. Good question. Very good question, mashallah. Brother's asking, in time of prosperity, time of ease, when you have no tests coming from Allah, how do you protect yourself? There's a hadith of Rasulullah where he said, احفظ الله في الرخاء يحفظك في الشدة. All right? Of course, we know that our aqidah iman is that Allah doesn't need protection. But the word of the hadith is such, احفظ الله في الرخاء. Protect Allah in prosperity, in ease. يحفظك في الشدة. Allah will protect you in shiddah, in hardship, in difficulty. Now we know that Allah doesn't need our protection. So what the mufrad of the hadith is, احفظ أحكام الله. احفظ أوامر الله. Protect the rules and regulations of Allah fil raha, in good times, meaning you fulfill your duty to Allah, you fulfill your obligations to Allah, you fulfill your fara'id to Allah in the good times. Allah will come to your rescue in the bad times. يحفظك في الشدة. احفظ الله في الرخاء يحفظك في الشدة. When you are protecting Allah's rules and regulations, you're doing all your ibadat, you're doing all your mu'amalat, you're fulfilling all your duties, you're good to your parents, you're taking care of your kids, you're good to your neighbor, you're doing sadaqah, you're doing, every good deed, helping others, you're doing all the good things in your good times, and Allah's watching and seeing you, right? So Allah will then come to your rescue in the bad times. Now when Allah sends a test, He will also give you the cure for the test. He will give you the intuition for the test, to go through that test. يَحْفَظْكَ فِي الشِّدَّةِ. Which this hadith means that if you are very, very negligent, if you're oblivious of Allah and you're negligent of your duties to Allah in the good times, when there's no test coming, and in the good times, you have forgotten Allah. You don't pray, you don't fast, you don't do dhikr, you don't read Quran, you're not doing anything. Oh, life is very, very, mashallah, relaxing, basking in the sunshine, make hay, and then suddenly you lose a job. Oh my God. Everything went 180 degrees. You lost your job, no money, nothing. Back payment on rent or back payment on mortgage. Now life is miserable. Well, you didn't remember Allah in the good times, so now Allah is going to test you more. So that is the answer to your question. That in good times, be very, very firm on the ibadat, on the dua, on the mu'amalat, and Allah is watching and seeing, inshallah. Ji, I'll come to you. So it is Iqbal, huh? I thought so. Yes. Subhanallah. शाहीन कभी परवाज से थक कर नहीं गया. Subhanallah. Misfortune. Yes. Very good. Translation, Allama Iqbal, who was the poet of the East from India and Pakistan subcontinent back then in 1900s, he said his poetry, two lines. He said that the eagle, the bird eagle, never falls down on the ground because of tiredness, fatigue. It's always there. You never see the eagle falling down. But eagle only comes down to eat the prey. And the second part was, so if you're ready and you're full of your energy, you will always persevere through every single test. And that is what Shaheen is. A believer, a mu'min is a Shaheen. Right. His presentation. In fact, Allama Iqbal is the one who said, we're talking about sajda, right? Allama Iqbal said in Urdu, एक सजदा जिसे तू गिरा समझता है, देता है तुझे, हजार सजदों से देता है तुझे नजात. सुभान अल्लाह. बात लंबी हो जाएगी. This translation, Allama Iqbal said that this one sajda, this one prostration that you feel so bad doing, meaning to Allah, it gives you relief from 1,000 sajda that you have to make to insanity. Iblis and Jibreel. I have to go back. One last question the brother had. Yes. Right. Yes. Right. Elaborate on that. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. Surah Bal? No, I know it's not. Which ayah is that? Hafiz, ya Mufas. Radiyallahu anhu wa radu anhu. Huh? Surah Bayyana. That's the one I know. Surah Bayyana. Radiyallahu anhu wa radu anhu. I was saying Fajr. You didn't correct me, Shaykh. Oh, أنا آسف. على رأس ولا سبت البيت. معذرة. So the brother is asking a question, well actually not asking, he's mentioning a comment about a hadith of Rasulullah that the dua of a believer is never rejected. 4 things happen when you make dua. So in all of those 4 things is never rejected. 1, either dua is accepted. Number 2, the dua is delayed. It will come to you at a later time in dunya when the right time. You see, sometimes we feel like we want it now, but it's not good for you now. So Allah knows when it's the right time to give you that thing that you're asking for. Third, that dua is suspended. Allah will give you a return of that dua in akhirah. In fact, there's a hadith of Rasulullah, he says that when people will find the result of the dua in Jannah and akhirah, they would wish that, I wish all of my dua was not answered in dunya. That's how happy we will be in Jannah. In Yawm al-Qiyamah, we'll be so happy that we would wish that, oh, none of my dua will be accepted. And then the 4th one, I forgot. Something better than that, yes. So whatever you're asking for in dua, Allah will replace you with something better than that. So let us make dua, inshallah. Hopefully one of the 4 will get. Allahumma anta salam, minka salam, tabarakta rabbana wa ta'ayati azza wa jalla. Allahumma innaka afuwwun kareemun والعفو فاعف عنا. اللهم تقبل منا صيامنا، اللهم تقبل منا ركوعنا، اللهم تقبل منا سجودنا، اللهم تقبل منا صلاتنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم تقبل منا كل الأعمال التي عملنا خالصا لوجه الدين في هذا الشهر المبارك وفي هذه الأيام المباركة وفي هذه الليالي المباركة يا رب العالمين. اللهم تقبل منا أولادنا في خدمة الإسلام يا رب العالمين. اللهم تقبل منا كل الأوقات منا لخدمة الإسلام يا رب العالمين. اللهم وفقنا لما أنت تحب وترضى يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنك عفو كريم حليم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ويكن الصالحين يا رب العالمين. اللهم يا شافي الأمراض شافي المشافي، أنت الشافي ليس شفاء إلا شفاء. اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين في كل مكان يا رب العالمين. اللهم اشفهم شفاء كاملا لا يغادر سقما رب العالمين. اللهم ارزقهم الصحة والعافية في بدن وجسد رب العالمين. وصلى الله على خلق محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه برحمته.